memorial service for Charlie Kirk will be held this weekend at the State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. President Trump will speak, and Vice President Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and other high-level members of the administration will also be in attendance. Homeland Security has designated the memorial a Level 1 special assessment rating event. That's the same level reserved for events like the Super Bowl and the Boston Marathon. Michael Knowles is a close friend of Charlie Kirk. He is host of the Michael Knowles Show, and he will headline Turning Point USA's next event at the University of Minnesota. Thanks so much for being with us, Michael.
Wonderful to be with you. Thanks for having me.
You know, just yesterday, the president praised Charlie and his work among young conservatives. Let's take a listen.
Just last week, a great American, Charlie Kirk, was heinously assassinated for speaking his mind. He was a great young man, incredible future. Some people said he might be president someday.
Tell me more about Charlie's aspirations and how he'll be remembered at this weekend's events.
Well, all of Charlie's friends and I think his millions of admirers were confident that he would be president someday. He was the most significant political figure of his generation, of our shared generation, without question. The entire U.S. government is attending his funeral. So I think that tells you quite a lot about his significance. I don't think there would be a second Trump term without Charlie Kirk. He helped to lead the youth vote 10 points in President Trump's direction. And more importantly than all of that, and when we're talking about funerals, we're talking about eternal things. He always engaged in debate with graciousness and with charm and with charity for his interlocutors, even as he was throwing rhetorical punches. He always did so in a very gracious way, and I think that resonated with a lot of people. I think it's why there's such great national sadness over his assassination, is because Charlie did not hold political office. He didn't write laws. He showed up to have open debate and to talk it out, and he was assassinated because of it. And so I think that, forgive the phrase, this is a turning point for the country without question, and I think Charlie represents, for many, many people, even those who disagreed with him, an aspiration of what they want the country to look like.
There has been a lot of talk about free speech versus hate speech. What would Charlie make of this debate that has erupted since his death?
Well, I don't want to speak for Charlie because unfortunately his voice was taken away from us. He and I were supposed to appear together at an event at the University of Minnesota on Monday, and that event will go on, and I'll be there, and we'll pay tribute to Charlie. And in his spirit, we will be having an open discussion, and people who disagree can cut to the front of the line, and we will talk it out. Charlie has said many public things, and one of those, of course, is that there's no such legal concept as hate speech. But of course, there are limits in the First Amendment. You're not allowed to engage in fraud or direct threats or obscenity. So the reason for that is that an open marketplace of ideas, just like any marketplace, requires certain regulation. And one of the great pities is that Charlie promoted the open marketplace of ideas, and an ideologue shot up the marketplace of ideas. So what is required is some order. You cannot tolerate direct threats of violence. You cannot tolerate attacks on that open kind of debate. And so there need to be those proper limits in order to expand the marketplace of ideas. We will not tolerate violence. The people who threaten that marketplace of ideas must be prosecuted, must be stigmatized, and frankly ostracized in order that we can have the kind of country that is civil and robust and encourages deliberation.
And as you just mentioned, you're going to be returning to the American Comeback Tour at the University of Minnesota, an event you just said you would have done with Charlie. I mean, how are you feeling, and what will your message be?
We will not be silenced. Charlie Kirk will not be silenced. Even if physically he was, his movement will not be stopped. We will not allow the enemies, not only of the American right, but the enemies of civilization to shut that down. So I think it is very important, despite the threats, that this event go on, that Charlie's tour go on, that the great movement that Charlie built go on, and that we will not cower in fear of the people who would have us all shut up and shut down this wonderful country of ours. So the event will go on despite the threats, and our country will go on so long as we have a say in it.
All right, Michael Knowles, thank you so much for joining us, and our condolences to you and Turning Point USA. We will have live coverage of Charlie Kirk's memorial service this weekend, beginning at 2 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, right here on CBS News 24/7.